Welcome to another Crypto Spendthrift interview. I'm here with Sean Worthington with CloudCoin. So just introduce yourself, tell us a little about CloudCoin and your technology.
Sure. I am a college instructor. I've been teaching computer science at Butte College for about 17 years. And I wrote a book called Beyond Bitcoin, the Future of Digital Currency, which is kind of a philosophy about digital money. I've got a patent pending on a new digital currency technology that's cloud-based, not crypto-based. And I've been working on a PhD in computer information systems. So that's about me. I've been basically last year, I had this idea that monetary systems are information systems, that money is data, and that if we take the rules that are established within computer science towards databases and we applied them to a monetary system and money, that we could create the world's perfect money, because we would know, number one, know what perfect money is, and then we could design a system that matches that. And so that's what I've done.
Turning money more analytical based. So talking about this CloudCoin here, I see it has like this new system, this RAIDA system, and that's totally different from basically anything that's in crypto right now. So kind of explain that so people have a better idea of what it is.
Sure, it's called the RAIDA, and that stands for the Redundant Array of Independent Detection Agents. And it is a exotic database, kind of like the blockchain is, but it's a database that you cannot write to. It's a database that you cannot delete from. It's a database that you can't read. All you can do is update it. And it's distributed, and it's basically what's called a no-share database. It's in 25 different pieces all over the world. These pieces are controlled by different people on different hardware, different operating systems, different software, computer languages, and it creates this counterfeit detection system that we have. And so instead of having a blockchain that tracks every transaction in order to figure out who's doing what or who owns what money, all this does is track the monies, whether it's authentic or not. And that makes it so that we don't need to track every transaction that happens. We don't need to store a bunch of data. And this process is very quick. It only takes a few milliseconds. And so we can handle, theoretically, 100,000 transactions a second, which is faster than any other system in the world. And it's 100% private, in that besides paying with cash, you don't have to have an account. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to let anybody know that you're doing anything. So it's very private. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So I feel like if you know, like the Ripple situation now, people are very resistant to something that doesn't kind of follow the formula. I know this is very decentralized and private, but it's also not really blockchain, and that could be some tension points for some people.
Yeah, I think you're right, because people are wondering what is money, and some people say it's gold, some people say it's silver, some people say it's the paper money that our government makes for us. And here comes along this cryptocurrency is that money, and now we've got these new types of money that don't use the same thing. And so we really need a definition of what money is. And the definition that everybody's been using, even Nobel Prize winning economists, it's been wrong. They don't understand what money is. They simply don't know what information systems are or what data is. And they don't understand that we're using the money like it's like our brains are computers, and we have to consume this data in order to make decisions about how we're going to run our lives. And I don't think anybody understands that. So it gets down to the definition. We have to, before we can agree on what money is, we have to be able to define it.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna it's gonna be an interesting next couple of years with all these more developments on the tech side of things, and how it eventually clashes with a lot of that already established.
Yes, the Bitcoin is the first, and the blockchain, of course, is the first technology, but it's not. It certainly is not the last one. So
There's a lot of people who would argue with that, and sometimes I like get in arguments with people who are certainly Bitcoin maximalists and think it's the end all be all for everything.
yeah.
So you mentioned the privacy of this. So how does it compare to other privacy coins, specifically Monero or the PivX or Zcash?
So it is the most private currency, CloudCoin is. You don't have to have an account. I mean, if you have to have an account, you've got some privacy issues. You've got to log into that account. You've got to have a email address. You've got to have some. You have to have some data on your computer that links you to that account. I mean, that password might be so long that you can't remember it, and so you've got to write it down. Somebody comes and takes your computer. Now they know your account number. And so whenever you have an account, you've got a privacy concern. And with CloudCoin, there's no accounts. So I don't have to log in. I don't have to remember any passwords. I get CloudCoins. The CloudCoins are full of what are called authenticity numbers. And you can kind of think of this is that every CloudCoin has its own username and passwords for 25 different clouds around the world. And so with CloudCoin, you don't have to log in, your money has to log in. And whenever you make a transaction, that transaction is not tracked. And so if you can link somebody's account number to what they're doing, you can see all the things that they have purchased in the blockchain. You can see how much money they have. Not that way with CloudCoin. CloudCoin, I can be keeping my CloudCoins on a server in Switzerland, and if nobody can get into that and see that, they have no idea how much money I have. And we've even worked out some technology in Venezuela where we figured out how to store half the money in mind. And what this allows us to do is literally put these authenticity numbers in a form that we can remember them. Unfortunately, people still forget them and lose their money, but we can actually store the money in our minds because it's just data, and data goes right in the mind.
Yeah, that's the whole account and password thing's definitely a big deal, considering to really secure any kind of coin now, you need some super long password just to be on the safe side usually. And if not that, you have it like physically. Like you said, there's a risk of someone like coming up to you and trying to steal it. And that's already been shown that that one guy got kidnapped a couple days ago for ransom because they knew he was a big player in cryptocurrency. So that's definitely a concern. I noticed on the website that you could store CloudCoins in images. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so these CloudCoins are basically just data, and you can embed them in any kind of file. We chose to embed them in JPEGs to begin with because it gives somebody the idea that they are money, they look like money. You can get them in email, you can download them, you can give them to your friends, and it kind of feels like money. It's digital money. And so, and we can also change the images, or anybody can change the images so they can change them to whatever they want to. This allows them to hide the CloudCoins in the money, in the JPEGs. And it also allows them to customize the way that the CloudCoins look. And this might be good for marketing. So suppose you're going to sell some tires or something and you could actually have this tire ad in the form of a JPEG, and you can send it via email, so people receive an email with this picture, and then they download the picture. So it just kind of works with marketing. But we can put CloudCoins into Word documents or PDFs, or any kind of file, we can hide them in there.
Sounds really good for people in like more conflict areas, like Venezuela that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, if you can hide the money, it makes it much easier. You can hide it in plain sight.
So there's also a lot of talk about distribution of coins. That's been a pretty hot topic because people sometimes imply that the fairer the distribution, the better the coin is in the long run, because you kind of avoid the whole whale price manipulation. So what are your thoughts on that, and kind of how CloudCoins kind of distributed at the moment?
Well, we were trying to think about what is the perfect way to distribute coins, or to get them out there, and we decided that it was to spend them into existence. And so whoever creates value for CloudCoin, like if you create software, then you should get some CloudCoins. If you create the network infrastructure, that you should get CloudCoins. That if you do the quality assurance testing, that you should get CloudCoins, and other things like PR and stuff like that. And so we have basically a budget, and we have 60 tranches of CloudCoins that are in the mint. We've already turned out 13 of them. We turn out one every month. And basically, they're spent on different people doing different stuff. And I don't know if it's the best way to do it, but it certainly is how we're doing it. And the CloudCoin is going up in value, and we're getting better software, and we're getting a faster network, and everything seems to be working out fine.
All right, it's good. So, what are is there any kind of potential dangers or other dangers that you've solved with CloudCoin? Because, as you know, some coins are clogged, and you already mentioned that because you're faster transactions and how the system works, that won't be that big of a problem. And is there any kind of like threat to the people who are hosting kind of the servers or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're concerned about the physical safety of the people that run the network. And we're hoping that the value of CloudCoin goes up, because then we can add more servers. And so the more that the CloudCoin is valuable, the more servers we add, and that distributes the risk. We have to distribute the risk as much as we can. We try not to, or we certainly do not publish the names of the system administrators and the people that are running the clouds. And because we have a feeling that we're going to be very disruptive if we're successful, and that's going to quite possibly cause some governments to become angry, and it could cause some governments to lose control of their own populations. Like we might see Venezuela get angry that they cannot control the money supply anymore, and they might try to come and maybe even assassinate our system administrators. So we are concerned about that, and we have a system where we hide our servers behind reverse proxies. These reverse proxies are designed to take on denial of service attacks. These are big backbone systems that can take a lot of, as far as we know, they can take all the attacks. We've got some that have never been brought down. Our entire system is kind of based on the DNS system. The DNS system has been around since 1985. It's never gone down. Our RAIDA system has never gone down either. It's always been available. And we suspect that it will stay available because of the availability that we've been able to achieve. And we can just take a look at the worst case scenario. We think we're going to be up forever. So until we get attacked, we won't really know. And maybe we might have been attacked already, I don't know, but certainly our system is very robust.
Yeah, it definitely sounds pretty robust, and significantly more robust than some coins that are out right now.
Yeah, the problem with most of the blockchains is that they can only do a certain amount of transactions every second. And so if you want to attack them, you simply perform a whole bunch of small transactions. And that, of course, is not a problem with CloudCoin.
Yeah, it's one of the big drawbacks of using proof of work, for example. But talking about this, what do you think about these second layer solutions that are coming out to the blockchain? Because they're saying that will kind of speed up the transaction speeds and help scale coins.
I think it's definitely going to help. The problem is that it's only going to help a little bit, because they have to confirm transactions at some point. And it'll make a big improvement, but a lot of these solutions, they create some security problems of their own. And I think that a technology like CloudCoin is going to eventually run them over. Because once you start getting 1 million users, which I don't even think Bitcoin has yet, then you're going to really have some problems.
Yeah, that's fair. Bitcoin is definitely the 1.0 of everything, and that's mainly what I'm thinking. It won't be as dominant as it is forever.
I think that we're seeing a pattern, and the pattern is going to be that people try a currency like Bitcoin, and then they bust it, and then they go down to some other currencies, and then they bust those ones, and then they'll go down to other ones. I think sooner or later they'll show up at CloudCoin, and they won't be able to bust that one, and it'll work for them.
All right. As I was looking through your site, I noticed it said something about a fixed amount of accounts that could hold CloudCoin or something of that sort.
So there's a fixed number of CloudCoins, and so we don't mine CloudCoins. I'm sorry about this phone.
That's all right.
So we have a fixed number of CloudCoins, and we don't do anything that causes them to be mined. And so we think that mining is a kind of counterfeit. Instead, what we have is miners that recover CloudCoins. And so the way that our miners make money and the way that they pay for themselves is if they find CloudCoins that have been lost for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And so any CloudCoins that they find that have been lost for 2 years, they can keep. And this is not necessarily an easy process in itself, but it's better that we think than creating new coins. But as far as the amount of counts, the human accounts, there's no limit, there's no accounts. And so we could have millions of people using CloudCoins, and there's not going to be any limit there.
All right. Yeah, I also noticed that this is one of the few coins that you can actually recover after you've lost them.
Yeah, that's part of physical integrity, which is a important feature that we think money has to have, and that's the creation of new coins that just pop out of nowhere, and also the destruction of coins. We've heard that 4 million Bitcoins have been lost permanently, and if the amount of Bitcoins that are lost exceeds that have been mined, we could actually see the whole currency just be lost. So that's a shame.
Yeah, I think that's a concern that's not really doesn't have as much attention as it should be. Because I've seen from around 4 to 6 million of the Bitcoin could be potentially lost forever.
Yes, and that's not a feature. If we can make a currency that cannot be lost permanently, at least, then that's a value, and that's what we've created with CloudCoin.
All right. I noticed your site also has mentioned about kind of assembling a batch of quorum members that are full of experts to kind of help move, I guess, the governance side of things along. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we've got this, I guess you could say, roadmap going. And the first thing of the roadmap was to get the RAIDA working perfectly, and we've done that. The second part was to get the client software working perfectly, and we're still trying to get an iPhone application, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll have that done in the next couple months. And then the third thing is liquidity, getting on exchanges and getting our clients getting it so that merchants can take CloudCoin. And we just hired 3 programmers to work on that. They started yesterday, and we expect to have some good progress on that in the next month, where we'll have exchanges and we'll have an SDK, a software development kit, that allows anybody to take in CloudCoins. The third thing is marketing, telling everybody about CloudCoins. We haven't really got to that point yet. And then the fourth thing is governance or operations, getting all of the government of CloudCoins working. And we do have some documents about that, but we're still working on that. That's something that we're going to tackle in the future.
All right. You mentioned another point that I was going to bring up about kind of the exchanges and people being able to get CloudCoin. So what's the easiest way to currently get a CloudCoin? Because most people are used to dealing with, like you said, the normal exchanges, and then also kind of how should people handle CloudCoin, since they're usually used to software wallets and hardware wallets?
Yeah, with CloudCoins, you just download these files, and so you don't have to have any wallets necessarily, but you do want to probably change all of the passwords so that only you have them. Because if somebody gives you their CloudCoins and they've got the passwords, they can change them later on. So you want to make sure that you take ownership of them, change all the passwords, and that does require some software. The software is very small. It's like 2.5 megabytes. We have a website that has that, and you can also drop them into web pages to see if they're real or not. But this has been an issue. We have been trading using just about everything that you can imagine: PayPal, Western Union, bank wiring. We've had credit card, Visa, and to trade it, we have an exchange that we've been running. And we just opened a new exchange that's in beta. We started it yesterday, and it was attacked, unfortunately. And but it's in beta, and you can go there and buy it. It's called CloudCoin Online. CloudCoin.exchange. And it's an exchange in which you create an account, but you don't have to tell what your name is, so you can use code names. You just have to give them an email address, and then you can see all the people that are selling, and then you can offer to purchase. And once you do that, then you can connect with that person via email, and you can then discuss the transactions. Our exchange doesn't actually hold anything. It doesn't hold any money, or it doesn't hold any CloudCoins. However, we are working with this Israeli group right now, and they have agreed to create an exchange for us and become members of our consortium. And so we haven't actually seen that happen. We don't want to tell anybody about that, really. I mean, we don't want to make any announcements, except that, it looks positive. And hopefully within the next month, we'll have a regular exchange, just like any other digital currency exchange, which people can buy and sell CloudCoins. And that will allow us to get on the market cap, because people will be able to see what we're buying and selling for.
Yeah.
And so we're hopeful about that.
Yeah, I think that'll be a big thing for you, because a lot of things will fly over people if it's not on like Coin Market Cap or some other visible place like a Bitcoin Talk or anything like that.
Well, we've got these people called investors, and we didn't actually create CloudCoin for investors, and we didn't even think that there was that many investors out there. And I think that the investors have kind of blown up in the past year and a half that we've been working on CloudCoin, or we've been putting it up. But it seems like everybody now that is into these cryptocurrencies is an investor. They're not into spending or using very much.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing, because it's kind of like buying tulips. I mean, we're seeing bubbles arise. If everybody's just an investor, they're just hoping that somebody else is going to pay more for it. It's a bad situation. We think, our currency is going to be able to dominate because it is the most usable. And we think it's just a matter of time before we're able to establish that. We've already worked out a deal with this online bank called arisebank.com. And so we've got some big players that are seeing us. We can actually be imported into software, and we've created this in-game purchasing system. I think in the next month, we're going to be able to go out and really demonstrate how Cloudcoins can dominate every other currency. And but it's not an investment currency. We don't try to push it as an investment. We don't have marketers going out and trying to sell it. We don't have an ICO. So, but the exchange will be very helpful. But it just hasn't been a priority.
Understandable. So, what would you say is kind of your ultimate vision for this, like this coin? Considering right now it's very early in its age, and just like I said, not too many people know about it yet, and it's not too user friendly for the average person currently.
So we don't even have a graphical user experience person, and we're going along trying to do one step at a time. And at some point, we're going to really start looking at how people use it and what they think about it and what's confusing. And I think that we'll be able to solve those problems and make CloudCoin much more usable. And but in the meantime, the long-term vision is that CloudCoin is going to dominate every other currency in the world. And it's because it's got all of the characteristics that you could ever want. We call it the perfect currency. It does everything. It's scalable. It's 100% private. It is transacts in milliseconds, and it's very efficient. And so we think that it's got every economic right to dominate every other currency. That's what we expect it to do. It's just a matter of time. Now that it could be possible that somebody could come up with some other currency that was somewhat like us, or maybe even copy our patent, because we do have a new technology and we do have it patented. But so we don't want to take forever. But I think that we're going to be successful. It's just a matter of time.
All right. Well, it's a great interview. Great interviewing you. Got a lot of personal questions answered about this too. Seems like CloudCoin definitely has a future just because it's bringing something totally new to the table, and I'll definitely be personally watching this to see how you kind of develop along.
We'll be happy to have you, and if you have any other questions, please let me know, and we're going to be on Twitter and making announcements about our progress. So if you want to follow us at CloudCoin Global, or my LinkedIn page, and at some point we're going to do some marketing and once we get everything set up.
All right. So if you have anything else that you kind of want to say about CloudCoin, you can have the floor.
Well, I will tell you that I wrote a book called Beyond Bitcoin, The Future of Digital Currency, and it talks about what money is. It talks about different scenarios in the future, good things that could happen, bad things that could happen. And there's a website called digitalfrontiernews.com. And if you go to that website and sign up for their newsletter, you can get that book for free. And you can also get 5 free CloudCoins. And of course, this is while supplies last. But that would be a free way for you to check out CloudCoins, see how they work. And I expect these CloudCoins to be worth a lot in the future. So we'll see.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Maybe we'll have you over in the future after you have some success in a year or so.
Sounds very good. Thanks for having me, Cameron.
All right. Thank you. This has been another Crypto Spendthrift interview session. Stay tuned for more.